Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. WH advisor Kudlow restraint on economy from flare-ups of COVID was low. ntvforex.com news ID 30FCEC 3 minutes ago by Aaron Seng-Ezer. The U.S. economy is doing well despite issues, COVID-19 hotspots and the backsliding on the reopening, NBSP White House economic advisor Larry Kudlow said on Thursday. Key takeaways: restraint on the economy from flare-ups of COVID was low and we may be bouncing back. The threat is not over, but numbers are turning a little bit in our favor. NBSP with fatalities leveling off. Trump administration is a very strong proponent of getting schools open for economic reasons, social reasons, and education reasons. We saw economic rebound beginning in May. There is a housing boom, a truckers boom, and small businesses reopening. Stock markets are very strong and jobs numbers are good after 3 blockbuster months. Unemployment rate will come down to the single digits maybe in August. We're developing quite a few therapies and medicines, and the vaccine story is moving ahead at breathtaking speed. We are aware there are still 16 million people unemployed, so we extended unemployment benefits. States that already contributed $100 for unemployment benefits would be eligible, and the program would be retroactive to August 1. Market reaction: the US dollar index largely ignored these comments and was last seen losing 0.32% on a daily basis at 93.14. NBSP. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. The recovery continues, claims dip below 1 million, oil softens, UAE-Israel historic deal, Goldvዄ tentative rebound analysis. http ntvforex.com news ID F24A43813 47:31 p.m. U.S. stocks edged closer to record high territory after jobless claims fell below the 1 million level for the first time since March, and after House Speaker Pelosi signaled she is willing to negotiate, offering they restart talks with a $2 trillion stimulus package and that they negotiate how to spend it. NBSP: the economy is trending in the right direction and Wall Street is convinced that Washington, D.C. will get a stimulus deal done. NBSP: the longer talks last, the likelihood the stimulus package will need to be bigger. NBSP: jobless claims. Initial jobless and continuing claims both came better than expected, but still paint a bleak picture for the labor market. NBSP: initial claims dropped to 963,000. An improvement over the prior reading of 1.191 million and the consensus estimate of 1.1 million. NBSP continuing claims declined to 15.5 million, the lowest reading since early April. NBSP: the $600 benefit did go away, and that might have disincentivized some people from filing claims. NBSP: the total number of people claiming benefits in all programs was 28.3 million Americans, an improvement of 3.06 million from the prior week. Initially, stocks and treasury yields moved higher as the economic recovery continues to head in the right direction. NBSP: Capitol Hill is not getting any added pressure from this weekly jobless claim release. NBSP: the S&P 500 continues to wait for a catalyst to take it to record high territory. Oil crude prices softened after better-than-expected U.S. economic data failed to be a catalyst for oil to break above the upper boundaries of its very tight trading range. NBSP: earlier, Russian energy Novak noted he doesn't expect any hasty decisions on output cuts when the OPEC meet next week. NBSP: right now, crude prices remain in doldrums of a stabilizing oil market. NBSP: the demand outlook continues to improve, albeit at slow pace, while supply seems to be dictated on a month-by-month basis. NBSP: the oil market is headed to balance, and right now that just means stable prices that seem trapped in the low $40s. NBSP: oil prices extended their decline after President Trump announced Israel and the UAE agreed to normalize relations, a historic breakthrough in advancing peace in the Middle East. NBSP: this will be Israel's first diplomatic relations with a Gulf Arab country and will likely put a damper on Iran's regional influence. nbsp. The Israel and UAE announcement just removed a little geopolitical risk off the oil table. nbsp. Gold prices are bouncing back as the Treasury sell-off seems to have ended. nbsp. Real interest rates declined, with the 10-year tips falling back below 1%. nbsp. Goldvዄ's rebound is somewhat hesitant as investors are unsure if the Treasury curve will continue to steepen and that might limit dollar weakness. nbsp. GoldvɁ's bullish momentum checklist remains firmly intact. More stimulus is coming, inflation hedging, retail and institutional interest remains strong, and geopolitical and pandemic risks are not going away anytime soon. nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. FTSE underperforms as Brexit worries resurface analysis. http ntvforex.com news ID 8F0E53 8/13/2023 46:38 Brexit fears come back into play amid a fresh round of talks scheduled for next week. Meanwhile, a welcome decline in jobless claims fails to spark the S&P 500 into fresh highs for now. FTSE underperforms on Brexit and furlough worries. Initial jobless claims drop below 1 million. Brexit fears likely to drive FTSE and GBP underperformance. UK listed stocks are underperforming today, as traders look ahead to a double whammy of resurgent Brexit fears and an October end to the furlough scheme. With stocks coming off a strong run, today provides a breather despite an impressive jobless claims report out of the US. With initial jobless claims dropping below 1 million for the first time since March, there is a feeling we are finally moving into a more normalized state of affairs despite the absence of a fresh stimulus bill. With both sides seemingly at a stalemate over the next stimulus package, it does provide a potential future boost for bulls to look ahead to. While the S&P 500 has retreated just below all-time highs, there is a feeling it is a case of when, not if, we see that breakout take place. Brexit talks look set to resume once again next week, with the continued stalemate expected to bring further anxiety of UK traders despite an optimistic tone from negotiators. The UK chief negotiator David Frost signalled the potential for an agreement by September, although the prospect of an all-encompassing deal in such a short space of time seems optimistic at best. While the pound has been gaining ground against the dollar over recent months, there is a distinct possibility that we will see these Brexit fears dictate price action in the absence of a deal. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Figuring out who's to blame for DefivɁ's persistent security issue. ntvforex.com news ID 67CBEB 2 minutes ago. Is Ethereum's architecture to blame for the growth of decentralized finance hacks, and will the network upgrade make the sector more secure? The decentralized finance sector continues to gain unprecedented popularity as the total value of assets locked in DeFi products nbsp doubled to over $4 billion in July nbsp and is now nbsp approaching nbsp the $5 billion mark. nbsp at the same time, an increased demand for such applications among users and developers makes it a nbsp target for bad actors, given the lure of direct access to funds. Over the past few months, hackers have stolen over $27 million from DeFi projects, and more attacks are expected to come in the near future. If this is the case, does the DeFi sector rely strongly on Ethereum for security, and will the ETH 2.0 launch bring more improvements in that area? DeFi apps are new crypto exchanges for hackers. While in 2018-2019, nbsp crypto exchanges were the #1 target for hacker attacks. In 2020, ETH's the decentralized finance market that's on the radar. This is largely made possible by vulnerabilities in platforms' smart contracts and technically imperfect security mechanisms. At the same time, as the history of hacks shows, the attackers use not only vulnerabilities but also various legitimate capabilities of blockchain to carry out attacks. This is how nbsp hackers attacked OpenNBSP at the start of August, a protocol that ironically claims to deal with DeFi protection. About $371,000 was stolen due to an exploit of the project's native token, whereby a double spend attack on Ethereum put options was implemented, granting access to user funds. Previously, a vulnerability in the smart contract code led to another DeFi project hack where nbsp $25 million was stolen. nbsp from the lendvŁ decentralized lending protocol and decentralized crypto exchange Uniswap. Both sets of developers built their own add-ons on top of the EC777 protocol, making the smart contracts vulnerable to reentrancy attacks. During such an attack, hackers withdraw funds repeatedly until their original transaction is approved or rejected. Another hack occurred on June 28, again because of a code vulnerability. Hackers stole over nbsp $500,000 in ETH and other altcoins nbsp from the balancer platform via an exploit of its token deflation mechanism that destroys 1% of the transaction amount upon each fund's transfer. Is Ethereum to blame? Evidently, the Achilles heel of DeFi projects is bugs and vulnerabilities in the smart contract codes, but what or who exactly to blame for this? Is it the DeFi developers who don't properly test or audit code before launching their apps, or does the fault lie with Ethereum's architecture, meaning that little depends on platforms? On one hand, as Brian Kerr, CEO of DeFi lending platform Kava Labs, previously told Cointelegraph, the Ethereum blockchain's architecture nbsp is not capable of responding to the security demands of the DeFi sector nbsp because testing possible bugs is almost impossible in the Solidity programming language. However, most DeFi platforms are built on the Ethereum blockchain framework and, therefore, are experimenting with the original source code, especially if the result of these experiments is not thoroughly audited before the launch of the product's final version, potentially opening doors for hackers. Shayan Eskandari, a security engineer and auditor at Consensus Diligence, told Cointelegraph that most of DeFi hacks were preceded by changes made by developers shortly prior to platform launch. For instance, EC20 was not implemented in a standard way, or some new token designs added functionalities that changed the behavior of the EC20 token, causing unforeseeable issues. According to Eskandari, such changes led to balancer pool attacks and the lendvŁ hack. This suggests that in some instances, the teams working on particular platforms are to blame. In a conversation with Cointelegraph, Arnie Hill, CEO of Plutus Defivຝ, a full-stack DeFi aggregator, noted that most DeFi developers do not pay enough attention to security, as they are at the early stage of product development. Today developers are paying more attention to the technical side and capitalization, focusing on how to build lending services on blockchain, rather than the security of smart contracts. Additionally, the complexity of DeFi products plays a cruel joke with them, nbsp. According nbsp to Larry Sukernick, digital currency group investor, you get people with a big brains that need to be put to work. And when they are put to work, the result is often a complex, brilliant, but massively unusable product. Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin LTC, previously claimed that decentralization is to blame for everything. Decentralization actually was the reason for the hacking of the Open Options protocol, as the team could not control or temporarily disable it in the event of an attack. However, the presence of hackers is a natural occurrence, given that the industry is young. Nevertheless, as the DeFi sector evolves, its developers should become exceedingly aware of the growing security risks and work to reduce them. According to Hill, scaling the market requires the use of more serious protection mechanisms and cooperation with regulators and auditors. At the end of the day, this is no longer just a network of dApps, but a multi-billion-dollar financial market that is at the early stage of its development and, hence, hacks are inevitable, the same as it was with the digital banking industry some years ago. According to the latest nbsp report nbsp published by research company Gen in collaboration with an open-source DeFi protocol ever since DeFi projects have become hacking targets, the developers began working on sandboxes and clear frameworks for dispute resolution. The analysts also noted that as long as scaling is of highest priority for DeFi developers right now, major hacks similar to the DAO incident of 2016 will likely happen again. Another possible issue behind decentralized finance projects is that they rely on data oracles to deliver critical data like asset prices. The accelerating growth of DeFi platforms and products with their unique composability creates interdependencies and requires a solid source of asset pricing data, as explained by Paul Claudius, CEO-founder of DeFiv噚, a Swiss open-source DeFi oracle platform, who told Cointelegraph currently, most DeFi projects lack a pricing data solution that is transparent, open source, and reliable. Many do not even share the methodologies used by oracles for pricing data. This creates substantial risks as bad actors can exploit both the technological and methodological vulnerabilities with unreliable data sources. Audit, due diligence, and insurance. So, is there anything DeFi teams can do to mitigate security risks, given that there are many products that successfully maintain a high level of security for their own and user funds? Mark Zeller, integration lead at EV, stressed the importance of conducting due diligence procedures before adding a new token to a DeFi platform to help avoid major hacks within the protocols. He also noted that projects dealing with decentralized finance may use the services of insurance companies to further protect user funds, although this is not always enough. nbsp speaking about the role of insurance in combating hacks, Kane Warwick, founder of synthetic asset platform Synthetics, nbsp said that DeFi insurance is very limited, adding DeFi still has significant tail risk, so insurance is likely to remain very costly in the short term, but as protocols mature, costs should come down, allowing for simpler and more useful insurance to emerge. Insurance is good to have if the attack has already happened, but if the task is to prevent it. Auditing and tracking suspicious transactions is what DeFi projects need in order to detect and fix vulnerabilities in the network before code flaws are exploited by hackers. Analysts point out that crypto exchanges play a significant role in tracking and locking down cryptocurrencies that may have come from hacked platforms. As the industry scales, it is getting increasingly important for DeFi developers to cooperate with regulators and work on both sandboxes and clear frameworks that allow for dispute resolution and arbitration if a hack occurs. According to Hill, scaling the market requires the use of more serious protection mechanisms and cooperation with regulators and auditors. At the end of the day, this is no longer just a network of dApps, but a multi-billion-dollar financial market that is at the early stage of its development. Will ETH 2.0 bring more security? Some believe that along with scalability, network upgrades will bring security to DeFi, while others say that Ethereum's 2.0 transition to the nbsp proof-of-stake nbsp algorithm will put the DeFi sector in even greater danger. Based on research by analyst Tarun Chitra, Dragonfly Capital investor Hasib Qureshi, nbsp to the conclusion that DeFi protocols run counter to the network security mechanism based on the POS algorithm. The problem is that funds locked in DeFi lending do not participate in staking and, therefore, are a security. Moloch DAO analysts nbsp confirmed that the move to ETH 2.0 could open up new attack vectors for DeFi applications. However, there is a positive side of it. Attacks on ETH 2.0 are easier to scale than attacks on ETH 1.0. Before the rollout, the DeFi industry will face many new attacks, according to Consensus analysts Tanner Hoban and Tom Borgers, especially during the first phases of the transition to Ethereum 2.0. The reason is that at the beginning of the transition, validators must block their ETH until the proof-of-work chain is fully merged with the proof-of-stake chain. This will reduce liquidity and, according to the study authors, can lead to centralization. So it is likely that DeFi products will face major hacks again, but with the development of insurance and auditing tools, as well as market entry by global regulators, it will eventually become safer. Ethereum 2.0 may add its own fly in the ointment, but with a slow and gradual rollout of the new model and sufficient testing, the risks are likely to be minimized. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, Text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. U.S. jobless claims trend improvement but long road to recovery. A nbsp Wells Fargo ntvforex.com news ID BE1A87 26 minutes ago by Mata as Salord. Initial jobless claims fell under 1 million during the week ended August 8. In the first full week without the additional $600 weekly top-up from the federal government, fewer people filed first-time claims for unemployment insurance, continuing a trend decline over the past several weeks, explained analysts at Wells Fargo. NBSP key quotes NBSPA. There are only 5.9 million jobs available at last count compared to 16.3 million unemployed. For every job, there are 3 people who need it. Initial jobless claims fell to 963K in the first full week of August. The level of claims is still higher than it ever was pre-pandemic and remains a glaring reminder that this recovery is only beginning, but it does feel good to be below 1 MAA. The 15.5 M people still receiving benefits is down 9.4 M from the peak in May, but still twice as high as during the financial crisis. NBSP. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. AUD/USD steady in a range above 0.7150. http ntvforex.com news ID 3DDAED 36 minutes ago by Mata as Salord. Australian dollar post marginal gains versus US dollar on Thursday. US jobless claims and Australian employment data above expectations. The AUD/USD continues to trade in a tight range between 0.7180 and 0.7155, at the moment near the floor. The Aussie is modestly higher, support mainly by Australian economic data and the lack of strength of the US dollar. A quiet session in Wall Street is helping the AUD/USD consolidate around 0.7160. The US dollar is falling modestly, offering support to the pair. During the American session, the DXY moved off lows, trimming losses. Upbeat data in the US and Australia. In Australia, jobs numbers came in above expectations. Sure, the unemployment rate ticked higher, but it was only up 0.1% to 7.5%. The market was at 7.8% even with the participation rate at 64.7%, exceeding the market at 64.4%. The underutilization rate also dropped 0.4% to 18.7%, a sign that spare capacity, while elevated, continues to be slowly absorbed. The 114.7K jobs added in July were mostly in part-time, 71.2K with full-time 43.5K, and hours worked in July increased 1.3%. Given this survey was conducted before the lockdown hit in Victoria, the August report will be more revealing, explained TDS analysts. In the US, jobless claims dropped more than expected. In the first full week without the additional $600 weekly top-up from the federal government, fewer people filed first-time claims for unemployment insurance, continuing a trend decline over the past several weeks, mentioned analysts at Wells Fargo. Initial jobless claims fell under 1 million for the first time in 21 weeks. On Friday, critical Chinese economic data is due that could weigh on AUD, while in the US, retail sales and industrial production numbers will be released. Technical levels. NBSP AUD/USD overview today. Last price 0.7161 today. Daily change 0.0001 today. Daily change percent 0.01 today. Daily open 0.7162. NBSP trends. Daily SMA 20 0.713. Daily SMA 50 0.7007. Daily SMA 100 0.6712. Daily SMA 200 0.6709. NBSP nbsp levels: previous daily high 0.7177, previous daily low 0.7108, previous weekly high 0.7244, previous weekly low 0.7076, previous monthly high 0.7228, previous monthly low 0.6876, daily Fibonacci 38.2%, 0.7151, daily Fibonacci 61.8%, 0.7135, daily pivot point S1 0.7121, daily pivot point S2 0.7081, daily pivot point S3 0.7053, daily pivot point R1 0.719, daily pivot point R2 0.7218, daily pivot point R3 0.7258. nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Midday market update: Nasdaq surges 100 points, Varex Imaging shares plummet, analysis http ntvforex.com, news ID C1963888 13/20/25 01:58 p.m. midway through trading Thursday, the Dow traded down 0.13% to 27,939.90, while the Nasdaq rose 0.91% to 11,113. The S&P also rose, gaining 0.13% to 3,384.64. The U.S. has the highest number of coronavirus cases and deaths in the world, reporting a total of 5,201,230 cases with around 166,110 deaths. Brazil confirmed a total of over 3,164,780 COVID-19 cases with 104,200 deaths, while India reported a total of at least 2,396,630 confirmed cases and 47,030 deaths. In total, there were at least 20,666,150 cases of COVID-19 worldwide, with over 750,370 deaths, according to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. Leading and lagging sectors: communication services shares gained 0.8% on Thursday. Meanwhile, top gainers in the sector included nbsp China Unicom Hong Kong Limited, nbsp Chu 19.19%, up 19%, and nbsp AMC Entertainment Holdings, Inc. nbsp AMC 15.73%, up 16%. In trading on Wednesday, energy shares fell by 1.1%. Top headline: Cisco Systems, Inc. nbsp CSCO 11.35%. nbsp reported upbeat results for its fourth quarter, but issued a weak forecast for the current quarter. Earnings per share came in at 80 cents, which beat the estimate of 74 cents. The company posted revenue of $12.20 billion, exceeding expectations of $12.08 billion. Cisco said it expects Q1 adjusted EPS of 69 cents 71 cents, versus analysts' estimates of 76 cents. Sales are projected to decline 9% to 11% year-over-year. Equities trading up: FAT Brands Incorporated nbsp FAT 107.46%, nbsp shares shot up 117% to $7.65 after the company announced it planned to acquire Johnny Rockets for $25 million. Shares of nbsp NTN Buzz Time, Inc. nbsp NTN 217.3%, nbsp got a boost, shooting 154% to $4.6899 after the company reported a merger deal with Brooklyn Immunotherapeutics. Grow Generation Corp nbsp GRWG 41.1%, nbsp shares were also up, gaining 36% to $11.88 after the company reported a rise in Q2 earnings and sales. The company also raised its FY20 guidance. Equities trading down: Nyogiaco Group, Inc. nbsp NWGI 25.37%, nbsp shares tumbled 23% to $2.05 after the company reported pricing of $10.0 million underwritten public offering. Shares of NBSP Varex Imaging Corporation NBSP VREX 20.94% NBSP were down 22% to $12.44 after the company reported a Q3 loss of 20 cents per share. Oppenheimer also downgraded the stock from outperform to perform. Rice Brown Technologies NBSP RIBT 33.2% NBSP was down, falling 33% to $0.5499 after the company reported weaker than expected Q2 results. Commodities. In commodity news, oil traded down 0.6% to $42.40, while gold traded up 0.4% to $1,957.60. Silver traded up 3.2% Thursday to $26.815, while copper fell 3.2% to $2.799. Eurozone European shares were lower today. The Eurozone STOXX 600 fell 0.63%, the Spanish IBEX index fell 0.62%, while Italy's FTSE MIB index declined 0.88%. Meanwhile, the German DAX 30 declined 0.5%, French CAC 40 fell 0.61% and UK shares fell 1.5%. Economics. US initial jobless claims increased 963,000 in the week ended August 8, versus analysts' estimates of 1.1 million. US import prices increased 0.7% in July after rising 1.4% in June. Export prices rose 0.8% in July, following a revised 1.2% gain in June. Domestic supplies of natural gas climbed 58 billion cubic feet for the week ended August 7, the U.S. Energy Information Administration reported. However, analysts were expecting a rise of 51 billion cubic feet. The Treasury will auction 30-year bonds at 1:00 p.m. ET. Data on money supply for the recent week will be released at 4:30 p.m. ET. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. The Animal Spirits Index drops in July analysis. http ntvforex.com news ID CD069381 2025 2022 PM. ACI is heading in the wrong direction. The Animal Spirits Index ACI came in at 0.36 in July, a sizable drop from June, reversing the prior month's progress. Previous reports detail the index's methodology, but on a basic level an ACI value above 0 indicates optimism about the economy and a value below 0 suggests pessimism. While the index has been negative since March, it was at least headed in the right direction in May and June. July's step back matches the stalling recovery seen in some high-frequency indicators through late June and July, as COVID-19 case growth surged in the nation's Sun Belt. Among the Asia's subcomponents, the Economic Policy Uncertainty Index EPU was the largest negative contributor. With parts of the CARES Act lapsing at the end of July, focus turned back to Capitol Hill in anticipation of more stimulus. This pushed the EPU index up to 295.3, its second highest level ever. With legislative negotiations ongoing, it seems unlikely that the index will recede much in the near term. Consumer perception of the economy also soured in July, with the Conference Board's Consumer Confidence Index dropping to 92.6. As case counts rise and the labor market recovery begins to slow, consumers seem to have tempered their optimism. Financial markets, however, have kept the index from testing its April-May lows. The S&P 500 ended July above 3,200, with the VIX dropping below 30 as the stock market rose. Yields on U.S. Treasuries remain historically low, and the spread between the yield on the 10-year and 3-month Treasuries narrowed only marginally in July. Are economic agents nervous about a second wave? Many major economic releases for July continued to surprise to the upside. Improving measures of business activity and expanding payrolls should help buoy confidence, all else equal. Rising COVID-19 case growth, however, hampered individuals' and businesses' ability to engage in normal economic activity. This slowing recovery in activity likely exposed the vulnerability of the nascent economic recovery. Uncertainty surrounding the next round of fiscal stimulus likely only compounded these concerns. As we have written before, how quickly the economy is able to return to its pre-COVID level will depend primarily on the virus, but also on how willing consumers and businesses are to spend and invest. While this month's retrenchment is not necessarily a sign that the sky is falling, 5 consecutive months of negative ACI values do constitute a worrying trend. Historically, prolonged periods of negative ACI prints have been associated with weaker recoveries. While the virus and fiscal policy are likely to shape the near-term outlook, it will be important to watch the trend in sentiment to understand potential permanent changes in nbsp economic behavior among businesses and individuals. Download the full report. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Ethereum technical analysis. Ethereum still on its way to crack $400. http ntvforex.com. News ID B187403. 3 minutes ago, ETH/USD is currently trading at $392 and eyeing up the $400 resistance level. The daily chart is still a bull flag awaiting confirmation from the buyers. nbsp Ethereum price is currently hovering $392 as bulls are getting ready for the next leg up. The trading volume has been decreasing in the past few days and many indicators have been able to cool off. nbsp ETH/USD daily chart. The daily chart is still a bull flag awaiting another leg up while the RSI has cooled off notably. The 12 EMA has been a strong support level for Ethereum, which has bounced several times from it. nbsp ETH/$4 hour chart. Ethereum is clearly trading sideways and has lost the EMA a few times, but ETH now trading above both again. The only real resistance level is located at $400. A breakout above this level will take Ethereum towards $415 and most likely close to $450 thanks to the bullish momentum. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. USD/JPY rebounds toward 107.00 on rising UST bond yield. ntvforex.com. News ID 01EAB8. 2 minutes ago by Aaron Sengezer. USD/JPY is posting small daily gains near 107.00. U.S. Treasury bond yields gained traction after 30-year bond auction. U.S. dollar index remains on track to close in the negative territory. The USD/JPY pair dropped toward 106.70 during the early trading hours of the American session but erased its losses in the last hour, supported by rising U.S. Treasury bond yields. As of writing, the pair was up 0.08% on a daily basis at 106.98. UST bond yields gained traction after 30-year bond auction nbsp following the U.S. 30-year Treasury bond auction, which set a high yield of 1.406%. UST bond yield turned north and the yield of the 10-year reference rose to its highest level since late June and was last seen gaining 5.5% at 0.717%. Supported by this development, the US dollar index DXY pulled away from daily lows and helped USD/JPY stage a modest recovery. Nevertheless, the DXY remains on track to close the second straight day in the negative territory near 93.20. Meanwhile, Wall Street's main indexes trade mixed on Thursday, with the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average posting small losses and the Nasdaq Composite gaining around 0.5%. nbsp earlier in the day, the data published by the U.S. Department of Labor showed that weekly initial jobless claims in the U.S. fell below 1 million for the first time since March but was largely ignored by the market participants. On Friday, investors will be paying close attention to the industrial production, retail sales, and the UOM Consumer Sentiment Index data from the U.S. NBSP technical levels to watch for USD JPY overview today. Last price 106.98 today, daily change 0.07 today, daily change percent 0.07 today, daily open 106.91 NBSP trends daily SMA 20 106.13 daily SMA 50 106.9 daily SMA 100 107.26 daily SMA 200 108.15 NBSP levels. Previous daily high 107.02, previous daily low 106.44, previous weekly high 106.47, previous weekly low 105.3, previous monthly high 108.16, previous monthly low 104.19, daily Fibonacci 38.2%, 106.8 daily Fibonacci 61.8%, 106.66 daily pivot point S1 106.57. Daily pivot point S2 106.22, daily pivot point S3 105.99, daily pivot point R1 107.14, daily pivot point R2 107.36, daily pivot point R3 107.71 NBSP. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Mexican Central Bank lowers policy rate by 50 basis points to 4.5%. http ntvforex.com. News ID 773A9F 6 minutes ago by Aaron Seng-Ezer. The Central Bank of Mexico Banxico announced that it lowered its benchmark interest rate by 50 basis points to 4.5% as expected. NBSP key takeaways from policy statement. Board was not unanimous on rate decision. One board member voted to cut 25 basis points to 4.75%. Greater conditions of the economic slack forecast with important downward risks. Challenges to monetary policy by pandemic include the significant impact on economic activity and financial shock and its effect on inflation. Adjustments partially associated with the pandemic have led to an increase in inflation expectations for year-end 2020. The balance of risks to inflation remains uncertain. Inflation expectations in the medium and long term remain relatively stable, although above the goal of 3%. Available room for maneuver will depend on the evolution of factors that have an incidence on inflation outlook and its expectations, including effects pandemic might have on both factors. Diverse indicators signal that in June there was a recovery in economic activity, although the environment remains uncertain. Global and national financial conditions will continue to be principally subject to the effects of the pandemic. Recent increases in the headline, core inflation affect foreseen trajectories in the short term. Both are expected to lay around 3% within the 12-24-month forecast horizon. Greater conditions of slack in the economy are foreseen on the horizon in which monetary policy operates. Risks remain tilted downwards on the economic activity front. Market reaction. The USD MXN pair's reaction to the policy statement was largely muted. As of writing, the pair was down 0.65% on a daily basis at 22.1969. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. EUR/USD struggles to maintain the bid in the wake of rising US yield. ntvforex.com. News ID 11F9FF 6 minutes ago by Ross J. Berland. EUR/USD is currently trading at 1.1817 and between a 1.1777 and 1.1864 range, while recently pulling back from the highs as the US dollar firms in New York trade. NBSP trade war angst and the coronavirus pandemic held back the bulls that had otherwise got off to a promising start on Thursday, extending the prior day's rally from the depths of the 1.17 area. The dollar had been on the back foot, but the combination of U.S. equities wobbling after a breach of the all-time closing high, the U.S. bond auction spike in U.S. yields, nbsp, and jittery summer markets along with the trade war fears have all contributed to the volatility. nbsp. As for data, the initial claims for U.S. nbsp state unemployment benefits dipped below 1 million for the first time since mid-March. However, nbsp, the expiration at the end of July of a $600 weekly jobless supplement, may well have been a contributing factor nbsp to the decline. nbsp. What investors may still be concerned for is that the data last week showed the economy regained only 9.3 million jobs of the 22 million lost between February and April. nbsp U.S. yields to lift the dollar off the floor. Meanwhile, nbsp higher Treasury yields may currently be offering the USD some support as real yields come off their bottoms in tandem. However, considering the consensus that the Federal Reserve nbsp will allow inflation to spike higher before stepping forward with a significant policy tightening, the dollar could still find itself up against plenty of supply. We have had both a stronger than expected print in U.S. Producer Price Index inflation data and Consumer Price Index data this week. That said, it really all boils down to the September Fed meeting, and for now, therefore, regardless of concerns for real yields and runaway inflation, higher yields could help to rebalance sentiment for the greenback in the short term. The US dollar's intrinsic value, such as its safe haven qualities in light of increasingly concerning geopolitical tensions between the US and China, and for its offshore demand pertaining to its reserve currency status, potentially outweighs US economic headwinds. Therefore, the downside in the DXY may be limited and contained within familiar historic levels. nbsp. The summer months are coming to a close. nbsp and September could be the return of full liquidity. There is plenty of easy data that will be reflected upon between then and now, which will make for a risky period for committed EUR/USD bulls, while positioning data is heavily skewed at record levels. nbsp. While the Euro's fundamentals have improved in recent months on the back of the EU's recovery fund and on the strength on ECB policy objectives, it is possible the trend is becoming overextended, analysts at Rabobank have argued. nbsp EUR/USD levels. nbsp overview today. Last price 1.1817 today. Daily change 0.0033 today. Daily change percent 0.28 today. Daily open 1.1784. nbsp trends. Daily SMA 20 1.1692. Daily SMA 50 1.1448. Daily SMA 100 1.1184. Daily SMA 200 1.1116. nbsp levels. Previous daily high 1.1816. Previous daily low 1.1711. Previous weekly high January 1916. Previous weekly low 1.1696. Previous monthly high January 1909. Previous monthly low 1.1185. Daily Fibonacci 38.2%. 1.1776. Daily Fibonacci 61.8%. 1.1751. Daily pivot point S1 1.1725. Daily pivot point S2 1.1665. Daily pivot point S3 1.1619. Daily pivot point R1 1.183. Daily pivot point R2 1.1876. Daily pivot point R3 January 1935. nbsp 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 nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Algo-round technical analysis. Algo USD sees a breakout above 65 cents with a significant increase in trading volume at ntvforex.com. News ID 56F2093. 3 minutes ago, Algo USD is currently trading at 66 cents after touching 69 cents and briefly pulling back. Algo-round is ranked 33rd by market capitalization and ETA close to an all-time high. Algo-round has a $500 million market capitalization after the recent bull rally and has seen a massive increase in trading volume over the past month. The digital asset is up by 29% in the last 24 hours with a peak of 69 cents and a low of 49 cents. nbsp Algo USD daily chart. The 100 EMA and the 200 EMA are just crossing bullishly for the first time since basically the beginning of Algo round. The RSI is overextended but will not likely influence the price of Algo in the short term. MACD continues being positive and bulls are facing very little resistance to the upside. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. S&P 500 top movers. Paycom Software Inc. PAYC gains nearly 5% on upbeat earnings. ntvforex.com news IDE 62E1E 3 minutes ago by Aaron Sengezer. S&P 500 looks to close the day in the negative territory. Paycom Software Inc. PAYC posts strong gains on better than expected earnings figures. Cisco Systems Inc. CSCO shares fall sharply on disappointing Q1 forecasts. Wall Street's main indexes opened mixed on Thursday and the S&P 500 index SPX struggles to push higher toward the all-time highs it set at 3,393 in late February. As of writing, the SPX was down 0.23% on a daily basis at 3,373. Earlier in the day, the U.S. Department of Labor's weekly publication revealed that the initial jobless claims dropped below 1 million for the first time in nearly 5 months, but this data failed to provide a boost to sentiment. Among the 11 major S&P 500 sectors, the Communication Services Index is up 0.3% on the day while the Energy Index is losing 1.75%. S&P 500 top movers. Earlier in the day, Paycom Software Inc. PAYC reported quarterly adjusted earnings of 62 cents per share for the quarter ended in June. This figure came in line with the mean expectation of 12 analysts' earnings. Furthermore, the company reported that the revenue rose by 7.2% to $181.59 million from a year ago. On the back of the upbeat quarterly report, PAYC is up 4.9% on the day at $301.88 as the top performer. On the other hand, nbsp Cisco Systems Inc. CSCO said that it expects the current quarter revenue to drop between 9% and 11% from last year. The company also said that it forecasts nbsp adjusted earnings of 69 cents to 71 cents per share, compared to analysts' estimate of 76 cents. As of writing, CSCO was down 11.61% on the day at $42.50 as the biggest decliner. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. AUD/USD remains weaker, despite upbeat labor market. nbsp data analysis http://ntvforex.com news ID AFA7DD8132027 0219 PM. The Australian dollar failed to defend its daily gains and slipped into negative territory during the US session as the AUD/USD pair was seen trading at around 0.7160. Earlier in the day, Australian nbsp employment change decreased to 115k, down from 211k previously, but this number was nearly triple the analysts' expectations. The unemployment rate worsened further to 7.5%, but this was also better than forecast. nbsp, however, since Australia is undergoing another lockdown, this time more brutal than other Western countries, the economic situation will likely deteriorate further over the next months. nbsp traders then paid attention to U.S. jobless claims. nbsp for the first time in 21 weeks, initial jobless claims for the last week were less than 1 million, printing at 963k versus 1.1 million expected. Continuing claims also fell slightly, from 16.09 million to 15.50 million. nbsp the strong support now seems to be near 0.7155, and if the Aussie drops below this level, we could see a decline to 0.7110. However, the medium-term trend seems bullish. Alternatively, the resistance for today's trading could be at 0.7180, followed by another selling area near 0.7190. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Gold price news and forecast. XAU/USD turns positive after spending most of the day in a consolidation range at ntvforex.com. News ID 70F0AF 2 minutes ago by NTV Forex team. $2,100 gold and $30 silver. Now what? On August 7, nbsp gold nbsp in US dollars notched its all-time nominal high of $2,089. It's been printing new highs in many other currencies for quite a while now. Silver peaked nbsp so far at $29.92. After a few days of attempting to scale $30, it gave up the ghost and dropped a stunning $4.90 intraday, closing down $3.20. Read more. Gold price analysis. XAU/USD hits fresh daily highs but fails to break $1,950. Gold prices broke a tight range and climbed to $1,950.65 ounce, reaching the highest level in 2 days. The yellow metal so far failed to make a run above nbsp $1,950 as the area continues to limit the upside. A weaker US dollar across the board is supporting the move higher. The US dollar index nbsp is falling 0.35%, off lows. Earlier the nbsp DXY nbsp bottomed at 92.94 but it was rejected from below 93.00. The greenback has not been able to benefit from US economic data, neither from higher US yields. Read more. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Pound sterling price news and forecast. GBP USD climbed further beyond the 1.3100 mark. ntvforex.com news ID 1BEFBA 4 minutes ago by NTV Forex team. GBP USD price analysis climbs further beyond 1.3100 mark, back closer to weekly tops. The GBP USD pair nbsp continued scaling higher through the early North American session and jumped to fresh daily tops around the 1.3125 region in the last hour. The momentum pushed the pair beyond a 1-week-old descending trend line resistance, which might now be seen as a key trigger for intraday bullish traders. The breakout comes on the back of the overnight bounce from horizontal support near the key 1.3000 psychological mark and supports prospects for additional gains. nbsp meanwhile, oscillators on the daily chart maintained their bullish bias and have just started gaining traction on the 4-hourly chart, reinforcing the constructive setup. Read more. GBP USD analysis could go upwards. Yesterday, the GBP USD exchange rate reversed north from the lower line of the medium-term ascending channel. During Thursday morning, the rate was trading at 1.3090. From a theoretical point of view, it is likely that some upside potential could prevail in the market, and the currency pair could target the weekly R1 located at 1.3166. Read more. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. AUD/USD bearish factors unveiled as dollar firms on rising US yield. ntvforex.com news ID 608396 3 minutes ago by Ross J. Berland. AUD/USD is currently trading at 0.7144 between a range of 0.7140 and 0.7188. The bulls are losing their grip as the US dollar bounces back in New York trade. nbsp. The combination of a spike in US yields, nbsp, and jittery summer markets along with the trade war fears have all contributed to a firmer greenback. The US dollar is being supported today by a rise in US yields following a surprisingly weak bond auction. nbsp US 30s are higher by 5.5 bps to 1.428%. nbsp. The US benchmark yield nbsp is up 5.20% to 0.7160. nbsp. Meanwhile, the important commodities for the Aussie, such as iron ore and copper, are down. DXY vs SPX to date, however, the dollar fell to its lowest in a week, pressured by overall equity market resilience as well as the impasse over additional stimulus for the US nbsp economy to cope with the virus pandemic. After losing 10% of its value from a peak in March, the dollar index has been bouncing around its lowest levels in more than 2 years since late July. The S&P 500 SPX, for which the Aussie has been closely correlated to throughout the corrections in both instruments, remained within striking distance of a record high. This is despite the news that the U.S. President nbsp Donald Trump has accused congressional Democrats of not wanting to negotiate over U.S. nbsp coronavirus aid package as Republican and Democratic negotiators traded blame for a 5-day lapse in talks over relief legislation. U.S. trade deal not going to plan. Indeed, the dollar-negative clouds continued to gather over the economy, but that doesn't rule out a bounce back to victory in the wake of ever-increasingly concerning relations between the US and China. Not only are both nations increasing military presence in the South China Sea, but Phase 1 deal is not seemingly going to plan. The US nbsp and China will reportedly review the progress of their phase-only trade deal this Saturday. CNBC reported that the centerpiece of the Phase 1 trade deal is China's commitment to buy at least $200 billion more in US nbsp goods and services over 2 years on top of its purchases in 2017. In the first half of 2020, China bought less than a quarter of the targeted full-year amount of US nbsp goods agreed under the deal, according to data compiled by Peterson Institute for International Economics. That's not a promising mix and not favorable to the Aussie that acts as a proxy to the trade and currency wars. nbsp jobs data may not be the saving grace after all. Meanwhile, nbsp the Australian jobs data proved surprisingly upbeat in July ahead of the latest lockdown in Victoria State. The Aussie firmed to $0.7190 nbsp from a low of $0.7109 the day before on the back of the data, still well short of the recent 18-month peak of 0.7242. Official data showed Australian employment jumped 114,700 in July, far above the median forecast of 40,000. The jobless rate rose to 7.5% from 7.4%, again under forecasts of 7.8%, while full-time jobs rose 43,500. While this all looks great on the surface, nbsp the damage done by lockdowns was clear in the number of unemployed, which topped 1 million for the first time ever while employment was still 500,000 below its March level. The latest health restrictions in Victoria will not kick in fully until next month's data, and the employment is likely to fall nbsp back in August. The Reserve Bank of Australia RBA still expects unemployment to rise toward 10% by the end of this year and only decline slowly to 7% by mid-2022. Additionally, while earlier this month, the bank reiterated it was on hold for the time being, the Aussie can remain under-anchored considering the central bank it has stepped up its bond buying, taking $3.59 billion just this week after 2 months of no purchases at all. nbsp AUD USD levels nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Cryptocurrencies price prediction. Bitcoin, Ethereum AMP Chainlink A American Wrap 13 August NTV4X.com News ID DB27A2 1 minutes ago Bitcoin price prediction BTC USD hits barriers as selected altcoins rally Bitcoin price nbsp has not been able to rise above short-term barriers at $11,600. However, recovery from the levels slightly above $11,100 was steady. The largest cryptocurrency is holding above $11,500 and trading at $11,530 at the time of writing. Since the beginning of the week, the mission has been to sustain action beyond $12,000 but Bitcoin bulls lost balance giving way to the dive towards $11,000. Ethereum technical analysis Ethereum still on its way to crack $400 Ethereum price nbsp is currently hovering $392 as bulls are getting ready for the next leg up. The trading volume has been decreasing in the past few days and many nbsp indicators nbsp have been able to cool off. nbsp Chainlink technical analysis http ntv4x.com News ID DB27A2 USD continues going up and hits $17.73 ETA definitely hard to predict when http ntv4x.com News ID DB27A2 AS rally will stop or at least pause as it seems the digital asset is not facing a lot of selling pressure. Chainlink is currently trading at $17 after a brief pullback towards $16 but the bullish momentum remains strong. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntv4x.com. Breaking: the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston is building and testing a hypothetical digital currency oriented to central bank use. ntv4x.com News ID A748F8 7 minutes ago. According to an update on digital currencies from the Federal Reserve Board and the Federal Reserve Bank of San Francisco, the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston is currently collaborating with some researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology to build and explore a hypothetical digital currency specifically designed for bank uses. nbsp The objectives of our research and experimentation across the Federal Reserve System are to assess the safety and efficiency of digital currency systems, to inform our understanding of private sector arrangements, and to give us hands-on experience to understand the opportunities and limitations of possible technologies for digital forms of central bank money. These efforts are intended to ensure that we fully understand the potential as well as the associated risks and possible unintended consequences that new technologies present in the payments arena. While the report clearly states it's just a test, it is still quite important as it shows the interest in digital currencies from governments around the world. The report also states that for the acceptance of a CBDC central bank digital currency we would need to see a significant change in policy and extensive deliberations and engagement with other parts of the federal government. Furthermore, the Federal Reserve also noted that it is continuously collaborating with other central banks in a CBDC coalition. nbsp More broadly, the Federal Reserve looks forward to increased international engagement on matters related to innovation and technological change that impacts central banks and those we serve. Our new initiative with the Bank of International Settlement's Innovation Hub, through an innovation center at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, will provide a useful venue for increased cooperation and exchange. It's unclear how this will affect the cryptocurrency market in the short term, however, if the program is successfully completed, the implications are massive. nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntv4x.com. EUR/USD forecast Bulsa interest easing, but bears still sidelined analysis http ntv4x.com News ID C4D826813 2027 30:28 p.m. EUR/USD current price 1.1800 US initial jobless claims fell below 1 million in the week ended August 7. This Friday, the U.S. will unveil July retail sales and the Michigan Consumer Confidence Index. EUR/USD retreated from a fresh weekly high, bearish potential limited. The EUR/USD pair has reached a fourth consecutive daily high this Thursday, hitting 1.1863 at the beginning of the US session, later retreating towards the current 1.1800 price zone. The dollar was out of the market's favor for most of the day, only finding support in upbeat local data. U.S. initial jobless claims for the week ended August 7 fell to 963K, the first time below 1M since mid-March. Continuing jobless claims for the week ended July 31, shrank to 15.486M, also beating the market's expectations. However, the news also gave support to equities, which traded with a sour tone in the first two sessions on the day. In Europe, Germany reported July inflation, which remained unchanged at 0.1% why, failing to trigger some action across the board. This Friday, the EU will report the second estimate of the Q2 GDP, foreseen unchanged at 12.1%. The US, on the other hand, will publish July retail sales, seen up by 1.9%, and the preliminary estimate of the August Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index, seen at 72 from 72.5 in the previous month. EUR/USD short-term technical outlook. The EUR/USD pair has partially lost bullish strength, but a downward movement seems unlikely at the time being. The 4-hour chart shows that the pair keeps developing above all of its moving averages, with the 20 SMA currently heading marginally higher at around 1.1780. Technical indicators in the mentioned time frame have eased from weekly highs, the momentum heading south within positive levels and the RSI currently flat at around 54. Support levels 1.1780, 1.1730, 1.1690. Resistance levels 1.1870. January 1915 January 1950 View live chart for the EUR/USD nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. U.S. exports set to rebound with global growth analysis. http ntvforex.com. News ID BCB55B813 29:44 p.m. Executive Summary. U.S. exports plunged at an annualized rate of 64% in the second quarter as many foreign economies went into lockdown mode earlier this year. nbsp. But as many of America's major foreign trading partners nbsp have reopened their economies, real exports of goods and services should begin to recover in the third quarter. Because export growth also depends nbsp on the real value of a country's currency, the recent depreciation of the US dollar should also help to boost American exports over the next year. Overall, we forecast exports to rise nearly 9% in the second half of this year, which would still leave US exports down 18% from the pre-virus Q4 2019 level. But if our forecast for global economic growth is correct, we look for momentum in exports to carry into next year, and forecast exports to grow about 10% between the end of this year and Q4 2021. That said, as the world continues to battle COVID-19, we would be remiss not to acknowledge that a re-acceleration in cases abroad that leads to the re-imposition of stay-at-home orders is the largest downside risk at present to our outlook for US export growth. Exports have been crushed by the global downturn. Economic theory posits that a country's nbsp real export growth is largely dependent on two variables: foreign economic growth and the country's real exchange rate. As Figure 1 makes clear, this theory nbsp is supported by empirical evidence. That is, there is a high degree of correlation between growth in US exports of goods and growth in global industrial production (IP), which is a proxy for global economic activity. Download the full report. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. AUD/USD forecast easing within range. Strong support at 0.7070 analysis http ntvforex.com news ID AA98581320273634 PM AUD/USD current price 0.7141 Australia recovered 114.7k job positions in July, unemployment rate at 7.5%. Chinese industrial production and retail sales to be out early Asia. AUD/USD eases within range and turned bearish in the short term. The AUD/USD pair peaked at 0.7187 at the beginning of the day, helped by encouraging Australian employment figures. According to the official release, the country added 114.7k new jobs in July, largely surpassing the 40k expected. Of such total, 43.5k were full-time positions. Also, the unemployment rate increased to 7.5%, better than the 7.8% expected. The country also released August consumer inflation expectations were up 3.3% better than the previous 3.2%, although below the 3.4% forecast. The negative tone of equities in Asia and Europe, however, capped advances in the pair, which now trades at around 0.7140, marginally down for the day. Friday will be quite a busy day, starting with data coming from China. The country will publish July industrial production, foreseen at 5.1% YoY, and retail sales for the same month, seen up by 0.1% YoY. Australia won't publish relevant macroeconomic data, but RBA's Governor Lowe is due to testify before the House of Representatives Standing Committee on Economics. AUD/USD short-term technical outlook. The 4-hour chart for the AUD/USD pair shows that the pair has broken below its 20 and 100 SMA, both converging around 0.7160 and providing dynamic resistance. Technical indicators, in the meantime, maintain their bearish slopes within negative levels, anticipating a new leg south. The immediate support is the weekly low at 0.7110. Followed by a more relevant one at 0.7070. Support levels 0.7110, 0.7070, 0.7030, resistance levels 0.7185, 0.7220, 0.7260. View live chart for the AUD/USD nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. USD JPY forecast struggling to extend gains beyond 107.00 analysis http ntvforex.com news ID A5FFBB81320273451 PM USD JPY nbsp current price 106.92 US Treasury yields reached fresh multi-month high, pushing USD JPY higher. The dollar became more attractive after the release of upbeat US employment data. USD JPY is trading near a fresh weekly high, still around the 107.00 level. The USD JPY has reached a fresh high this Thursday, surpassing the previous one to reach 107.04, ending the day with gains just below the 107.00 level. The pair started the day with a soft tone, falling to 106.56 on the back of a weaker dollar and stocks trading in the red. The dollar got to recover against its Japanese rival with the release of encouraging U.S. employment figures, which also underpinned Wall Street. Meanwhile, U.S. Treasury yields advanced further with the same data, resulting in the yield on the 10-year note reaching 0.73%. Japan published at the beginning of the day the July Producer Price Index, which was up 0.6% in the month, and down 0.9% when compared to a year earlier, both figures beating expectations. Machine tool orders, in the same month, plummeted 31.1% YoY. This Friday, Japan will publish the June Tertiary Industry Index, previously at 2.1% MOM. USD-JPY short-term technical outlook. The USD-JPY pair is bullish in the short term and according to the 4-hour chart. The mentioned time frame shows that the intraday slide met buyers around a directionless 200 SMA, as the 20 SMA keeps advancing above the 100 SMA, now approaching the larger ones. Technical indicators, in the meantime, turned higher, favoring a bullish extension in the near term. Support levels 106.55, 106.10, 105.70. nbsp resistance levels 107.45, 107.90, 108.30. View live chart for the USD-JPY nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. GBP USD forecast easing within range. No clear directional bias analysis. http ntvforex.com. News ID D9486288132027 p.m. GBP USD current price 1.3050. A Brexit deal could be achieved in September, according to whoVঽ's chief negotiator David Frost. The UK reported over 1,000 new coronavirus cases for a third consecutive day. GBP USD has lost its bullish momentum, but a bearish extension is still unclear. The sterling recovered some ground against its American rival this Thursday, although the pair continued trading within familiar levels. nbsp GBP USD stands at daily lows around 1.3050 ahead of the Asian opening, down from a daily high of 1.3124. The UK did not publish relevant macroeconomic data, but Chief Negotiator David Frost said that he believes an agreement can be reached next month. We are not looking for a special agreement, we want a deal with at its core a free trade agreement like the one the EU has with Canada. nbsp later in the day, UK PM Johnson repeated that there is a very good case for the EU to strike a zero tariff zero quota deal. Meanwhile, concerns mount amid the UK reporting over 1,000 new coronavirus daily cases for a third consecutive day. UK PM Johnson has been pressuring schools to reopen, although the increased number of new contagions may result in new lockdowns instead of reopenings, with pubs and restaurants in the front of the fire line. The kingdom will end the week without releasing macroeconomic data. GBP USD short-term technical outlook. The GBP USD pair has lost its bullish potential according to intraday readings. The 4-hour chart shows that the pair is now below the 20 SMA, which anyway lacks directional strength, yet above bullish larger ones. Technical indicators, in the meantime, have extended their declines within negative levels, supporting a bearish extension in the upcoming sessions. At this point, the pair needs to break below 1.2980 to confirm a bearish extension in the following sessions. Support levels 1.3030, 1.2980, 1.2940. Resistance levels 1.3105, 1.3150, 1.3190. View live chart for the GBP USD. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Mid-afternoon market update. Dow falls over 100 points. Fat Brands shares jump on Johnny Rockets acquisition analysis. http ntvforex.com. News ID 1B671B8132028 0138 p.m. Toward the end of trading Thursday, the Dow traded down 0.39% to 27,866.59 while the Nasdaq rose 0.33% to 11,048.40. The S&P also fell, dropping 0.19% to 3,373.89. The U.S. has the highest number of coronavirus cases and deaths in the world, reporting a total of 5,201,230 cases with around 166,110 deaths. Brazil confirmed a total of over 3,164,780 COVID-19 cases with 104,200 deaths, while India reported a total of at least 2,396,630 confirmed cases and 47,030 deaths. In total, there were at least 20,666,150 cases of COVID-19 worldwide with over 750,370 deaths, according to data compiled by Johns Hopkins University. Leading and lagging sectors: communication services shares gained 0.6% on Thursday. Meanwhile, top gainers in the sector included nbsp China Unicom Hong Kong Limited, nbsp Chu 18.95%, up 19%, and nbsp AMC Entertainment Holdings, Inc. nbsp AMC 14.12%, up 18%. In trading on Wednesday, energy shares fell by 1.4%. Top headline: Cisco Systems, Inc. nbsp CSCO 11.44%. nbsp reported upbeat results for its fourth quarter, but issued a weak forecast for the current quarter. Earnings per share came in at 80 cents, which beat the estimate of 74 cents. The company posted revenue of $12.20 billion, exceeding expectations of $12.08 billion. Cisco said it expects Q1 adjusted EPS of 69 cents 71 cents, versus analysts' estimates of 76 cents. Sales are projected to decline 9% to 11% year-over-year. Equities trading up: FAT Brands Incorporated nbsp FAT 105.95%. nbsp shares shot up 102% to $7.13 after the company announced it acquired the burger chain Johnny Rockets Group for $25 million. Shares of nbsp NTN Buzz Time, Inc. nbsp NTN 138.74%. nbsp got a boost, shooting 236% to $6.21 after the company reported a merger deal with Brooklyn Immunotherapeutics. Grow Generation Corp nbsp GRWG 41.89%. nbsp shares were also up, gaining 35% to $11.83 after the company reported a rise in Q2 earnings and sales. The company also raised its FY20 guidance. Equities trading down: Nyogiaco Group, Inc. nbsp NWGI 25.37%. nbsp shares tumbled 25% to $2 after the company reported pricing of $10.0 million underwritten public offering. Shares of nbsp Varex Imaging Corporation nbsp VREX 18.56%. nbsp were down 22% to $12.42 after the company reported a Q3 loss of 20 cents per share. Oppenheimer also downgraded the stock from outperform to perform. Rice Brown Technologies nbsp RIBT 29.47%. nbsp was down, falling 33% to $0.5549 after the company reported weaker than expected Q2 results. Commodities. In commodity news, oil traded down 1% to $42.25, while gold traded up 1.3% to $1,974. Silver traded up 6.7% Thursday to $27.72, while copper fell 2.9% to $2.808. Eurozone European shares closed lower today. The Eurozonia STOXX 600 fell 0.63%, the Spanish IBEX index fell 0.62%, while Italy's FTSE MIB index declined 0.88%. Meanwhile, the German DAX 30 declined 0.5%, French CAC 40 fell 0.61% and UK shares fell 1.5%. Economics: US initial jobless claims increased 963,000 in the week ended August 8, versus analysts' estimates of 1.1 million. U.S. import prices increased 0.7% in July after rising 1.4% in June. Export prices rose 0.8% in July, following a revised 1.2% gain in June. Domestic supplies of natural gas climbed 58 billion cubic feet for the week ended August 7, the U.S. Energy Information Administration reported. However, analysts were expecting a rise of 51 billion cubic feet. Data on money supply for the recent week will be released at 4:30 p.m. ET. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Cryptocurrency market news. Federal Reserve Bank of Boston looking into digital currencies for banks. ntvforex.com news ID 32DBA7 1 minutes ago. Here is what you need to know on Friday 14 August. BTC USD remains stable at $11,500 while it loses market dominance due to altcoins rallying up. ETH USD is aiming to crack $400 in the next 24 hours as bulls managed to defend the daily 12 EMA and bounce off of it. nbsp XRP USD is struggling to climb above the daily 12 EMA and is the weakest digital asset. The biggest winner today is Numeraire with a massive 50% price explosion to $51 followed by Algorand, which also had a notable rally towards 70 cents. Waves is also extremely strong and breaking out of all resistance levels thanks to an announcement from Binance. Chart of the day. Waves USD daily chart market. Just hours ago, the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston stated that they are working together with researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology to build and explore a hypothetical digital currency specifically designed for bank uses. The objectives of our research and experimentation across the Federal Reserve System are to assess the safety and efficiency of digital currency systems, to inform our understanding of private sector arrangements, and to give us hands-on experience to understand the opportunities and limitations of possible technologies for digital forms of central bank money. These efforts are intended to ensure that we fully understand the potential as well as the associated risks and possible unintended consequences that new technologies present in the payments arena. Bitfinex was down for more than 5 hours unexpectedly. Users were deeply concerned, but the exchange quickly made an official statement saying the platform had some performance issue and that they were investigating it. nbsp: we are investigating issues with platform reduced performances and have temporarily halted trading. We will keep everyone updated on here as we know more. We apologize for the inconvenience. Bitfinex at Bitfinex August 12, 2020. Eventually, the platform went back online and no funds have been lost. nbsp Industry Crypto Pro application is extending its services to Apple devices including the iPhone, iPad, Mac, and even Apple Watch. The app tracks crypto prices and allows users to retain their privacy by not collecting any type of personal information and encrypting all data. nbsp quote of the day: whereas most technologies tend to automate workers on the periphery doing menial tasks, blockchains automate away the center. Instead of putting the taxi driver out of a job, blockchain puts Uber out of a job and lets the taxi drivers work with the customer directly. nbsp: a Vitalik Buterin nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. GBP USD testing the 1.3050 psychological level post double toft. ntvforex.com news ID 3CB6646 minutes ago by Ross J. Berland. GBP USD is testing a critical support structure as it plows through stops, having lost grip of the 13,080 pivot and wilts beneath a bearish double top. Fundamentally, the US dollar is firmer on intrinsic values as the spread of the coronavirus in Germany and the rest of the world trumps the narrative that is a problem unique to the US. New York witnessed a NBSP spike in NBSP US NBSP yields and a subsequent rally in the greenback, coming back off its lowest levels in more than 2 years since late July in the DXY. We are seeing jittery summer markets along with the trade war fears have all contributed to a firmer greenback. Meanwhile, the Bank of England will be on the minds of traders following the latest Monetary Policy Committee statements, which prove that the Bank of England is nbsp still actively reviewing nbsp negative interest rates. The UK economy faces a trifecta of risks, stemming from possibly renewed COVID-19 related restrictions, an economically difficult Brexit, and significant labour market weakness, analysts at Rabobank explained. We find it hard to see how this isn't ultimately met with a monetary policy response. We stick to our call for another GBP 100bn increase of the APF, setting our sights at the November meeting. Pertaining to the coronavirus damage to the economy, rising nbsp unemployment is probably the biggest threat to the recovery. The virus is far from done, and nbsp the gradual unwinding of the government's furlough scheme over the next few months will be met with nbsp ongoing consumer caution and social distancing constraints. On the plus side, however, the UK's chief Brexit negotiator said on Thursday that a free trade agreement with the European Union could be agreed in September, as Ireland's Prime Minister said a landing zone for the deal had emerged. GBP USD levels nbsp overview today: last price 1.305, today daily change 0.0016, today daily change percent 0.12, today daily open 1.3034, nbsp trends daily SMA 201.2919, daily SMA 501.2687, daily SMA 100.2529, daily SMA 200.2712, nbsp levels previous daily high 1.3068, previous daily low 1.3006, previous weekly high 1.3186, previous weekly low 1.2982, previous monthly high 1.317, previous monthly low 1.236, daily Fibonacci 38.2%, 1.3029, daily Fibonacci 61.8%, 1.3044, daily pivot point S1, 1.3004, daily pivot point S2, 1.2973, daily pivot point S3, 1.2941, daily pivot point R1, 1.3066, daily pivot point R2, 1.3098, daily pivot point R3, 1.3128, nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Forex today. U.S. employment data gave the greenback an unexpected boost. ntvforex.com news ID 2C24181 minutes ago by NTV Forex team. Here is what you need to know. NBSP on Friday, August 14, the dollar stayed out of the market's favor, falling against most major rivals but the JPY. The American currency got to advance during U.S. trading hours, backed by better than expected weekly unemployment claims, which unexpectedly fell below 1 million, the first time since lockdowns began back in March. The Euro-USD pair held above 1.1800, and posted a fourth consecutive daily high. The sterling weakened at the end of the day but holds above 1.30 against its American rival. UK chief negotiator David Frost said that he believes an agreement can be reached next month. We are not looking for a special agreement, we want a deal with at its core a free trade agreement like the one the EU has with Canada. NBSP later in the day, UK PM Johnson repeated that there's a very good case for the EU to strike a zero tariff zero quota deal. The USD-JPY pair advanced to a fresh weekly high just above 107.00 as U.S. Treasury yields got boosted by U.S. employment data, reaching fresh 5-week highs. European indexes closed in the red, but Wall Street tried to overcome the downbeat mood. U.S. indexes closed mixed, with the Nasdaq up and S&P and DJIA down, all of them around their opening levels. Hopes for a vaccine have overshadowed coronavirus concerns. However, the number of new cases is becoming worrisome in Europe. Germany reported over 1,200 new cases, the biggest daily increase in more than 3 months. France announced 2,500 new contagions, while in Spain, they announced some 1,400 new cases. In the US, the number of new cases is stable above 50,000 per day, although daily testing has decreased. Gold continued to recover ground, ending the day at $1,950 a troy ounce. Cryptocurrency market news: Federal Reserve Bank of Boston looking into digital currencies for banks. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Orion Protocol Technical Analysis: ORN USD ready for a breakout above $7. http ntvforex.com News ID EAB9162 2 minutes ago, ORN USD has been one of the best performing DeFi coins in the past month. ORN started trading as low as 10 cents, the initial sale price, and managed to reach $7.75, a 7,750% increase in less than 1 month. Orion Protocol has been one of the most searched coins on CoinGecko for the past few weeks after experiencing an initial 1,000% price increase within a few hours of its listing. ORN is now trading around $6 after a healthy period of consolidation, while bulls are eyeing up $8. ORN $4 hour chart: ORN bulls have clearly managed to establish a 4-hour bull flag with increasing trading volume on the way up to $7.75 and decreasing bear volume while trading sideways the pole of the flag. The most important support level is the 12 EMA, currently at $6.20, a support point that has been defended several times in the past. Bulls can also use the 26 EMA at $5.79 for support and $5.38, the low established on August 11. A breakout above $7 would be a big enough catalyst to push ORN towards $8 as there is practically no selling pressure. nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Tug of war ahead of retail sales analysis: http ntvforex.com News ID 93C21481132020 9068 p.m. for the greenback. Friday AS US retail sales and University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index are the most important economic reports on this week's calendar. nbsp investors have been looking forward to two things since Monday: a progress on stimulus talks and an update on the recovery. nbsp inflation data, while interesting, has very little impact on the markets in a zero-interest rate world with no changes by central banks in the foreseeable future. nbsp talks in Congress stalled with no signs of progress after a pivotal call between House Speaker Pelosi and Treasury Secretary Mnuchin. nbsp: according to Pelosi, Democrats and the White House are miles apart, suggesting that a deal is still far away. nbsp: the pressure on the market reflects the market's disappointment with lawmakers and their fear that the longer this continues, the greater the impact on the economy and consumer spending. It is through these lenses that they will look at retail sales tomorrow. nbsp retail sales are expected to grow at a slower pace in the month of July as economists forecast spending to rise by 2%, down from 7.5% in June. nbsp excluding autos and gas, demand should be even softer. nbsp, however, with average hourly earnings growth turning positive, Redbook reporting an uptick in spending and gas prices stabilizing last month, there is scope for the data to beat. The forecast is relatively low, making it feasible for spending to be between the 2.5% to 4% range, which would be weaker than June but stronger than expected. nbsp: at the onset, good data should be positive for the greenback, but unless EDA's a blowout number, think 6% or better, the rally could be short-lived because expired unemployment benefits combined with the lack of progress in Washington means spending could slow further. On Wednesday, the Department of Labor gave instructions on how to implement the executive order that extends federal unemployment benefits signed by President Trump over the weekend. nbsp-eligible Americans will receive $300 per week as the additional $100 paid by states is optional. Even at 50% of previous benefits, some families are going to feel the sting, which will affect their spending. nbsp keep an eye on USD JPY as 107 has been key resistance. nbsp if it breaks this level on the back of good numbers, a swift peak is possible unless the data is unambiguously positive. nbsp tonight is also a big night for China as the country prepares to release its latest industrial production and retail sales figures. nbsp further improvements are expected for the world's second largest economy. nbsp good numbers should help the Australian dollar, which sold off despite strong labour market numbers. nbsp more than 110,000 jobs were created last month with a healthy mix of full and part-time work. nbsp this was significantly better than the 30,000 forecast and helped to lift the participation rate to 64.7% from 64%. nbsp the unemployment rate increased but less than anticipated. With that said, the currency's reaction was muted because investors are looking past this improvement to the job losses that are likely with Victoria, the second most populated state in level 4 lockdown. nbsp worries about August numbers is exactly why AUD shrugged off the report, which traders should take note of for tomorrow's US retail sales report. nbsp meanwhile, the New Zealand dollar fell sharply on the back of dovish comments from the Reserve Bank. nbsp earlier this week, the RBNZ increased asset purchases and suggested that more stimulus, including the possibility of negative rates, could be necessary. nbsp last night, RBNZ Baskan said monetary policy could be easier, while RBNZ said a weaker NZD could be preferable. nbsp the country also reported 14 new virus cases, bringing the total of 17. In response, Auckland remains on lockdown, and according to Prime Minister Ardern, they will be going hard and early to quash COVID-19, which may include quick and decisive lockdown adjustments. nbsp euro, sterling, and the Canadian dollars traded higher on the back of US dollar gains. nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Wall Street close a down day for US benchmarks in jittery summer market. ntvforex.com news ID 1195D5 3 minutes ago by Ross J. Berland. DJIA unofficially closes down 74.53 points, or 0.27%, at 27,902.31. S&P 500 unofficially closes down 6.60 points, or 0.20%, at 3,373.75. Nasdaq unofficially closes up 33.06 points, or 0.30%, at 11,045.30. The S&P 500 ended slightly lower on Thursday, although it did trade, again, above its nbsp record closing high. The Dow also fell in the wake of a disappointing forecast from Cisco Systems Inc. CSCO. Overall, it was a typical summer jittery marketplace with plenty of geopolitical and domestic politics to keep the wheel of uncertainty turning. nbsp the Dow remains below its February peak and fell 80.12 points, or 0.29%, to 27,896.72. The S&P 500 SPX lost 6.92 points, or 0.20%, to 3,373.43. nbsp S&P 500 rose as high as 3,387.24 during the session, just above its record high closing level of 3,386.15 from February 19. The Nasdaq Composite IXIC added 30.27 points, or 0.27%, to 11,042.50. In corporate news, an 11.2% slump in shares of Cisco Systems weighed on the Dow and S&P 500 after the company forecast first quarter revenue and profit below estimates. Apple Inc. AAPL shares climbed nbsp 1.8%, helping to support the Nasdaq and limiting losses in the S&P 500. nbsp As for data, nbsp jobless claims fell below 1 million for the first time since efforts to curb the COVID-19 outbreak in the United States began 5 months ago. Data last week showed the economy had regained only 9.3 million of the 22 million jobs lost between February and April, indicating a long road to reach pre-pandemic levels. nbsp keep in mind that even with the improvement, last week's initial claims number was higher than any recorded during the global financial crisis. The better-than-expected data comes after stronger PPI and CPI data this week. While this points to some improvement in the economic recovery, the path ahead will be influenced heavily by what comes next on the fiscal stimulus side, analysts at ANZ Bank explained. nbsp Meanwhile, investors continue to hold on to hopes Democrats and the White House can reach agreement on a stimulus package to help the economy recover. nbsp unemployment benefits have been a sticking point in their talks. Looking forward, the US nbsp presidential election is expected to add another layer of uncertainty into markets, with roughly 12 weeks remaining until Election Day. nbsp SXP levels. nbsp overview today. Last price 3,382.5 today. Daily change 2.50 today. Daily change percent 0.07 today. Daily open 3,385. nbsp trends. Daily SMA 20 3,279.95. Daily SMA 50 3,188.54. Daily SMA 100 3,012.88. Daily SMA 200 3064.65. nbsp levels. Previous daily high 3,385.25. Previous daily low 3,350.5. Previous weekly high 3,353.75. Previous weekly low 3,264.25. Previous monthly high 3,293. Previous monthly low 3,073.5. Daily Fibonacci 38.2%. 3,371.98. Daily Fibonacci 61.8%. 3,363.77. Daily Pivot Point S1 3,361.92. Daily Pivot Point S2 3,338.83. Daily Pivot Point S3 3,327.17. Daily Pivot Point R1 3,396.67. Daily Pivot Point R2 3,408.33. Daily Pivot Point R3 3,431.42. nbsp Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. AUD/USD is low. China data to keep recovery gains above 0.7100. http ntvforex.com. News IDC 82C0C 5 minutes ago by Anil Panchal. AUD/USD seesaws near 0.7150 after bouncing off 0.7135. Virus woes, US-China jitters and upbeat performance of the USD weighed on the quote. Upbeat comments from WH advisor Kudlow. Day-end consolidation recently underpinned the quote. RBA Governor Low's testimony, China industrial production, retail sales awaited. AUD/USD struggles to keep the recent recovery from 0.7135 while taking rounds to 0.7150 at the start of Friday's Asian session. The Aussie pair dropped on Thursday amid mildly active markets and increasing odds of the U.S. economic recovery, which in turn underpinned U.S. Treasury yields. Adding to the bearish case of the pair, were trade-negative comments from U.S. President Donald Trump and Trade Representative Robert Lighthizer that later on got the opposite headlines and lost importance. V-shaped recovery in the U.S. following upbeat inflation data, better than forecast prints of weekly initial jobless claims backs U.S. President Trump's economic optimism and helps U.S. dollar to remain on the front foot. The labor market indicator weakened to 963K versus 1120K. On the contrary, American policymakers saw failures to restart the stimulus talks joins uncertainty surrounding the coronavirus COVID-19, amid soft numbers with lesser testing, to challenge the market sentiment. Furthermore, U.S. President Trump keeps disliking China for the virus and cares little for Phase 1 deal while USTR Lighthizer announced tariffs on Europe over Airbus. Though both these negative catalysts were later on countered by the wείμ's intention to solve Airbus dispute and White House WH advisor Larry Kudlow's upbeat comments concerning China. It should also be noted that welcome figures of Australia's July month jobs data could not please the AUD for long as markets anticipate a blow to figures following the latest lockdowns in Victoria. Elsewhere, rising COVID-19 numbers from Germany also weigh on the market sentiment and offered a distant pressure onto the pair. Against this backdrop, U.S. 10-year Treasury yields gained 3.1 basis points to 0.717%, whereas Wall Street benchmarks traded mixed by the end of Thursday. Looking forward, RBA Governor Philip Lowe's testimony in front of nbsp, the House of Representatives Standing Committee on Economics, will precede China's July month data dump to direct the pair's immediate moves. While Rabat's low will be watched to gain extra clarifications on his latest bearish bias, China's industrial production and retail sales also become important due to the trading bond between the two. The forecast suggests industrial production to rise from 4.8% to 5.1%, whereas retail sales may also recover from 1.8% to 0.1%. Technical analysis 21-day EMA, currently around 0.7120, restricts the pair's immediate downside moves ahead of 0.706560 area comprising July 24 low and June 10 high. On the contrary, 0.7200 becomes immediate resistance ahead of the monthly top near 0.7245. Additional important levels overview: today last price 0.7149, today daily change 13 pips, today daily change percent 0.18%, today daily open 0.7162, nbsp trends daily SMA 20 0.713, daily SMA 50 0.7007, daily SMA 100 0.6712, daily SMA 200 0.6709, nbsp levels previous daily high 0.7177, previous daily low 0.7108, previous weekly high 0.7244, previous weekly low 0.7076, previous monthly high 0.7228, previous monthly low 0.6876, daily Fibonacci 38.2%, 0.7151, daily Fibonacci 61.8%, 0.7135, daily pivot point S1 0.7121, daily pivot point S2 0.7081, daily pivot point S3 0.7053, daily pivot point R1 0.719, daily pivot point R2 0.7218, daily pivot point R3 0.7258, nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Tron Market Update: TRX USD shoots up as BitTorrent records over 2 billion software installations. ntvforex.com news ID F073111 1 minutes ago, Tron founder Justin Sun acquired BitTorrent last year. nbsp BitTorrent has surpassed 2 billion installations on Mac, Windows, and Android. nbsp, the firm has more than 90 million active users. BitTorrent, a decentralized peer-to-peer network, has surpassed 2 billion installations of its torrent client software on Android, Windows, and Mac. The company, which offers products across two brands BitTorrent and A-Torrent, has more than 90 million active users. nbsp. According to a CryptoPotato report, BitTorrent accredited the growth to the widespread popularity of the firma's classic desktop torrent clients, as well as its new web-based torrent downloader and player built for the streaming age. nbsp BitTorrent further emphasized that ETA's Android version available on the Google Play Store is the most popular mobile torrent downloader. Tron acquired BitTorrent last year. Commenting on the company's new milestone, Justin Sun, the founder of Tron, said almost 2 decades ago, the dream of decentralized file transfer was brought into existence by BitTorrent, thus changing the world and positively impacting the lives of people everywhere. Today, we celebrate our history and everyone involved in making the BitTorrent protocol and our products a success. We look forward to fulfilling our mission of improving the protocol and introducing new use cases, such as decentralized file storage and live streaming products. TRXUSD Daily Chart. TRXUSD has shot up from $0.0203 to $0.0224. In the process, the price has flown above the upward channel formation and the 20-day Bollinger Band. The daily chart shows healthy support at $0.0215, $0.0205, $0.0199 SMA20 and $0.0183 SMA50. nbsp. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors. Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. US President Trump. A lot of big news is coming over the next few weeks. ntvforex.com news ID 0D241. 3 minutes ago by Anil Panchal. US President Donald Trump crossed wires during the early Friday morning in Asia. The American leader spoke on various issues ranging from Israel-UAE United Arab Emirates agreement to criticizing presidential election opponent Joe Biden. Key quotes at every turn: Biden has been wrong about the virus. Ignoring the scientific evidence. It's the most important diplomatic breakthrough since the Egypt-Israel peace agreement was signed over 40 years ago. We have a lot of other interesting things going on with other nations also having to do with peace agreements. A lot of big news is coming over the next few weeks and I'm sure you will be very impressed. Would not veto coronavirus legislation that includes funding for the post office. FX implications. While considering the absence of trade-specific news, coupled with generally inactive early Asian hours, market players fail to react to these comments. Even so, AUD/USD remains pressured around 0.7150 by the press time. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://mt5.expert.advisors.